Why do you believe now is the right time that we're seeing ESG roles come out and dedicated people within organizations?
So I think the answer to that question is twofold, right? You've got on one side, from a corporate standpoint, many regulations that are coming up, many things that customers will be asking, many things that even your partners and suppliers will be asking you as well, in terms of compliance, as well as your employees. So there's all sorts of requests coming from many directions when it comes to the corporate side of things. So the ESG sort of like metrics where we as companies are being tracked. So obviously it's quite important to have someone being able to answer those. ESG sustainability in general is something that should be, transcending the company. It's something that I see quite cross collaborational. So it's quite important still to have someone who kind of like oversees the overall effort. If you don't have that, then you might end up having, people just looking at it from one angle, but not collaborating with the rest. So I think from that perspective, it's quite important.
Agreed. And in terms of opportunities that having a dedicated person brings to the organization, what would you say they are?
So in terms of opportunities, I think the really good thing about having someone within the organization is being exposed to other external initiatives that can be happening. Again, going back to why it's important to have someone looking at ESG. If you're focused on your day to day, if you're just working purely with suppliers or purely with your customers, you might not understand the full breadth of what is happening in terms of sustainability, and you might some people call it greenwashing, or they would call it greenhushing. But if I go one way or the other, but I think it's kind of important to keep a cool head and being able to report on the right things and going to the right directions. So without sort of like that ESG person, you're probably missing out on opportunities to do the right thing, essentially.
Yeah, brilliant. And obviously, this new ESG role brings challenges. And there are lots of challenges when it comes to sustainability and changing our organizations. What top tip would you give to anybody working in those roles?
I mean, one tip that I've always been giving is just to focus on what's already available out there. You don't need to really reinvent the wheel. For anyone who's starting, really looking at the different audits and frameworks that exist. So if you're looking at environment, you'll be looking at the SBTI and CDP, two framework and sort of audit that will help you figure out where you are in terms of sustainability. If you're looking at ESG from a wider view, you can look at something like EcoVadis. That will give you a really good insight. I just recently come across around the knowledge pool from the UN Global Compact. So we at Accedo, we're a member of the UNGC, and you've got brilliant training materials and training videos that are available, training you on the SDGs, training you on the SBTI, on how to start your own supplier assessment. So everything's pretty much there already, and we're actually starting to use this internally for sort of like the ESG focused person and even for a wider audience. So that's like one really good tip for me.